What's up? It's Cody, back with some more test hands, but I'm gonna actually talk deliberately through the test hand and really get to the nitty-gritty about why I'm doing what I do when I do it. So, just looking at this opening hand, it's phenomenal. We have Chaos Space, a Chaos Dragon, and then a really good discard and Apsarouter for that Chaos Space. So this can give us access to Lubellion, and even if not, we have Ravine already, which is kind of a bad thing rather than a good thing, but it means we don't have to go into Romulus right away. So just grab the Lubellion. Apsarouter can grab us. Pitch Lubellion, Ravine, pitch something that we want to reborn off the Pisty. So what we're looking at basically is like we're getting our normal summon here. Lubellion gets us one extension, so we go straight into a Link 2. And then we can use the white and black dragons to set up Pisty to summon back something from Banish. So we're going to use Ravine pitching Diabolos to do that. So all that considered, we'll grab Tracer because it's a good reborn off of Darkness Metal, which I think is going to be our pick. So normal the Tracer. Really, you should Lubellion first, but normal the Tracer is fine. Gonna grab Serenir because having regained End Beast on field is better than adding a dragon during end phase, because your dragons aren't really going to be relevant most of the time into your opponent's boards in this meta. Back in tier format, it was a lot more relevant, but here, not so much. So we do this. We could also make a Baron here. Like, very easily could make a Baron here, but it's not necessary. We can go straight to Spheres because we don't need the Romulus, and we already have everything that we could want otherwise. So just send that regained. Ravine. Can pitch our Diabolos. And as we were saying, we want to get access to Darkness Metal. And then we can banish that Darkness Metal to make it completely safe from like Ghost Bell on Pisty. Or like opposing Bystials on the target for Pisty. That kind of thing. So then we have a way to trace already, so Boot Sector is less important. We're going to chain block the White Dragon, which is more important because it gets us Pisty, which gets us Red MD, which gets us Tracer, which gets us Savage. So all of that. And then we can do this, of course. Get max value off the Chaos Space. Free draw into Melody, that's actually insane for us, because it gives us CD and Levy as well. So that might actually change what we do. Let me think just a little bit here. We definitely activate the Melody. And then we have 3 darks to banish. What I'm thinking about right now is using the CD to recur the Darkness Metal so that we can get the Pisty off board more easily, which I think is the correct play. So we will actually CD banish these 3, rip a card from their hand, and then we can Pisty for the Tracer. I suppose we still want a Link 2 for the Tracer, which makes things a little goofy. We can go ahead and activate this here. Grab back our Darkness Metal. And this is what I was talking about here. We can use this, reborn something else. So yeah, comically enough, we do still need to out this, or we need to clean up our board basically. Oh, and I summoned this back when I wasn't supposed to. Oh, we can do this. Have them put another card back. This hand, probably the Diabolos goes back. From here, we can actually link off these 2. Go for the Lubellion. Or maybe just leave it like this. Or we can just make a Gryphon here. That's very funny as well. No effect on the Gryphon. Don't need anything. Let's pop Ravine. Grab our Recharger. Make our Savage. Make sure it's linked by the Gryphon so that we don't lose this effect. So that's a goofy little thing that we could do. It's not exactly like mainline stuff. But end of the day, we get this on as well. And then the only caveat really is making sure that you summon Magnemite to this zone specifically. But yeah, it's a pretty simple hand. Alright, next hand. Opening Rebranded is really cool most of the time. Also opening Caliber plus a high level dragon kind of makes it as like a pseudo starter. It's a little goofy, but do something like this. Grab this guy. Then we can immediately bring that Caliber back. And I guess we still want to make Striker next, huh? Just trying to think if there's an alternate way to do this. Not without a tomb. Yeah. Without a tomb in the build, we kind of have more struggles here. But a tomb has its own hang-ups, I guess. Because this isn't really that bad. Depending on the quality of our draw, of course, but can very easily go Rebranded. Just secure a draw for ourselves. Which will probably just turn into our discard off Ravine, but we'll see what happens. The draw is important here, so we're going to chain block that. Most people aren't going to stop your mag search anyway, and that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful draw. Jesus. We have access to Lubellion already through Ravine, so we White Dragon. And now we just keep plugging along. We want to get Tracer back, so we'll get Tracer back. And regain, let us recycle the Striker Dragon, so we do that. And here it's just the very general climbing of the link arrows to Saryuja. Because if we don't have to use Ravine to get to Lubellion, that's good. Like if we just top deck a Lubellion off the Saryuja, that's great for us. And then we're just going to grab that other Tracer out of Banished. Since we have a Tracer in hand and Ravine can double as an access to Tracer as well. So it's less important to like leave that in Banished in case we draw Melody and then can use CD, is the logic there. Then you always want to use the Link monsters for Saryuja because the only other way to get them off board is to destroy them with Tracer. To get them off the board in a way that's like conducive to your end board. Because you can't use them for Synchro Material, you can't use them for IP. So this is usually the best way to do it. And again, because we have this access to Tracer already in our hand, it's less important to keep the Tracer on board, more important to keep the Lubellion target on board. And then we find Serenir, which is just about as good. Safer plus Levy's also interesting. Brotar's also interesting. We can put Wyver back. Probably keep the launch. Put Tracer back. And then Serenir gets us to Lubellion as well. It's just a matter of what we want to prioritize. I think we actually put the Serenir back. And just leave the Brotar in hand. Or use the Brotar as discard fodder. One of the two. Because we get to Serenir again off of the Lubellion. Because we're going to go Safer pitch with Levy, add back the Levy with the Safer after the fact. To get to the Serenir that way. And then Ravine is our way to get into the Tracer again. Yeah, so we put the Serenir back. Alright, then Saryuja, special the Safer. We have Safe Air Pitch Levy. Add the Lubellion to hand. Yeah. Then actually Safe Air. No, Safe Air gets us the Levy back. That's right. The Serenir becomes our Ravine discard. See how all that works. Or we can leave the Serenir because it's still an extender and toss the Brotar. And Brotar is just extra follow-up for us instead. So then we bin the Apsa Router. Apsa Router gets us to Tracer. Alternatively, we could have used Brotar to get to Red MD again, but we still want to maintain that in the event that they've held Nib for this long, would be the thought process, I guess. So we just go into the Seal. Really, because we have the Serenir as well, we can boot and make Baron instead. It's like, this is the last time that they could Nib, and we get another Seal. And then Red MD, which gets us back into Tracer. So yeah. So we just get Baron, protect all the rest of the plays. I'll just hit the Apsa Router because it's useless now. Oh, we had regained already too. We never needed to get to the Serenir. Whoops. We still want to add the Druis during our end phase. So just send another Lubellion, I guess. Probably shouldn't even activate that effect. But it's fine. We can Safe Air the Levianeer back, and then this turns into IP. And then I usually pick Black Metal, or Black Dragon, Pisty, and either Serenir or Darkness Metal, just to make sure that opposing Bystials don't get to use this themselves. It's like a phantom worry, really. I like leaving the Striker so that I can loop it back with a regain on my own turn, and then loop Seals back on, loop the Striker on their turn, and then loop the Seal on my turn. And then leaving more Bystials in the graveyard is fine too. So yeah, Darkness Metal's like the least likely to be able to be used again, is where the logic basically falls. So then we rip for one. And convert that to a Masquerena. Oh, we actually put Baron in the wrong spot too. Because the Gryphon line, basically you want to put your Gryphon in the middle zone every time so that you have two zones to use for various activated effects on your own turn. So Baron should really be in one of these two locations. But then just to show how that all works out, really. Turn Chain on, just to show. So if they start the same way we do, of like normal this, we can regain for that Magnamut from our grave. If you want to be really diligent, you can actually use Masquerena. Well, no, this is a trigger effect. So you have to do this first. Then to this Magnamut, you can chain your Masquerena. And then you can chain your Druis to that, hitting your Striker Dragon. So then you have the 4 material, make the Gryphon. Obviously you would wait for a special summon to do this just because of the Druis Worm effect. Then you get your Gryphon here, your Baron should be here, here. Then regain gets you the draw. And Seals gets you another follow-up basically. But you've already like ensured that your mag resolves. So Seals can get you something like Grand Tusk, or can get you Anamorphage, stuff like that. One more test hand. Another good one. We want this Melody to resolve, and we want this Lubellion to resolve, so we're gonna go through things this way, I think. Just think a little bit. Nah. If they have Ash, they have Ash. So let's grab a Serenir again here. Serenir's harder to find than Magnamut since we only play the one as opposed to the three. We can Melody Pitch Santa Claus to give us a Serenir banish right away. Which is why I like playing the light kaijus, is you get Bystial material off of your discards a lot easier. And we're just gonna skip right ahead. This lets us chain block 2 effects now instead of just 1. So we can Black Metal, Romulus, and Serenir. So bin the Regained, add the Ravine, add Dark Metal. Although this is a little goofy now because we've used our normal and we don't have another low-level dragon. So we'll have to accommodate that somehow. Let's see. Oh, here's a cute one. Send the black dragon. Doo-doo-doo. Levy rips a card. Said gets us back the black dragon. Oh, but now we have to banish that. So I think first we go for this. Now things get a little goofy. I guess we can go into Seal. Yeah, this is very strange. Like, this feels like an incorrect line, you know what I mean? But it's also probably just fine. Grab back that Serenir. And this can actually go into Saryuja. Now we're just digging for a rocket, and we find a rocket. And we also find a mag. So we can put those 3 back. Then this turns into our Masquerena. We'll grab the Diabolus just because it's a little more flexible too. And then yeah, same as always, banish the Pisty when you can. Get mag effect. Activate that quick launch. Get a Tracer. Or you can get Caliber here in this case since we don't really want to use the Tracer effect. Then yeah, just a matter. The other thing you could do is still use the Tracer effect, make Tracer and Recharger into Savage, make Mag and Red Eyes into IP, and use this to rip a card. It's just a matter of what you prefer. Like, I'll show that line since it's a little less obvious. Again, put Diabolus back, I guess. Then yeah, we Tracer, pop the Ravine, grab the Recharger. We don't make Baron anymore, but we do make Savage. And again, we're putting Savage here in one of those 2 zones that will be live after using IP to make Gryphon. And that's that full setup again. Alright, so yeah, like, hand rip for 2, they're down to 4 cards already, and then we have 1, 2, 3 interruptions. And we could either use Masquerena for Unicorn, or actually we have 4 interruptions with the Druis. So like, you should, just by the numbers, win most games by making up a board like this. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. See ya.